I feel very, very lucky to be a teacher, because to watch people grow, to watch them develop, there's nothing greater than that. I mean, that's what we're here on earth to do in this lifetime, to give, to help each other. So I feel privileged. I feel honored that I have this ability, and it's so important for me to. I will teach until the day I die. Well, the workshop is like a gymnasium for actors. And what we're doing in the workshop is we're working on the instrument. My body, my voice, the way that I'm listening. Because the way that we listen in acting is not the same way that we listen in life. Because in life, sometimes people are not listening, or they're thinking about what they're going to say next. But in acting, you have to really listen. You have to listen with your heart. And you do one thing at a time. When you're listening, you listen. And you take it in. And you're not only listening to the words, but you're listening to the quality of the sound. Because you know the ear is very, very, very sensitive. So the sound, you're listening to the sound of the voice. You're letting it hit you. You're letting it, what we call, land on you. And when you speak, you're really speaking, you're really there 100%. That's not like life. That's not the, especially the way it is now today. The way it is, you know, with all of these instruments and things like that, you know, communication has changed. So that's one thing that's very, very different. Well, in the classes, we do I cover a lot of territory, because I had the good luck to study with Stella Adler and Lee Strasberg and Wynn Hanman. So I understand the Meisner technique, I understand the method, I understand Stella's work, which is, you know, mainly imagination. And I also had the opportunity to work with Michael Chekhov's assistant, a man named Blair Cutting. So there's an amalgam of different techniques that I bring in. We do improvisations. On the first day, you remember, we did all these improvisations. Strangers when we meet, you know, we do that. And then we work on scenes. Usually the scenes are from movies or from television. And I try to find scenes that you could be cast in. I try to find the right scene for you, something that you could be cast in, because then we bring in the casting directors, and then they look, and then they pretty much know, you know, how they can use you. So there's a practical aspect to the work itself. But mainly, to sum it up, I would say it's all about the instrument, all about this wonderful, wonderful instrument that you develop, and you keep developing it for your whole entire life. So when you study acting, you're really learning about yourself. You really, really get to know yourself in a way that maybe life itself can't afford to give you. You know, Krishnamurti, the great Indian philosopher, speaker, writer, he said there's only one book that you have to read. That's the book of yourself. Because what you do is you find out that actually the whole world lives inside of you. I think one of his books was called You Are the World. Acting is a very special job, but we tell stories. That's what I mean, look, I'll give it to you like this. You could have a wonderful story, you could have a wonderful, wonderful screenplay, but if you don't have a great actor that can bring that story to life, it may not land on the public the way that it should land on the public. So, great writing, great acting, these are the things. Stories can transform people. Stories can change people's lives. I always tell people, look, if you're going to, whatever you're going to do, be a good one. Be a good one. Be the best that you can be. Steve McQueen told me one time, I work very hard to make it look easy. I'll never forget that. I worked very hard to make it look easy. That's what great actors do. That's what Robert De Niro does. There's a certain freedom that comes when you have found a character in acting. So that's very appealing. But then when I was acting, when I started to study acting, wow, I was really, it was a feeling of really being alive, like in a way that I never knew before. I think that when you study acting, it's maybe one of the greatest adventures in the entire world. Good job, everybody. Really, really good. Really good job.